In the 21st century, around 45 million people have active social media accounts just in the UK alone, most of these being the younger generation. On average, each person has around 6.9 accounts over various different platforms. This documentary will highlight how much teens use social media and how it affects them. How often do you use social media?
Well, if I'm honest, I use it far too often, I think. I think that's a problem with our whole generation, is that we get so addicted to it. Like, I'll end up using it probably every sort of 15 minutes. I can't go without checking my phone unless I'm doing something else, so I just really struggle to ever go without it.
On average, I use social media pretty much all day. Yeah, I'm pretty much always on social media.
I use social media way too often because I probably go on it at least every hour, every day.
I use social media every day. I find myself very addicted to it. I use it a lot more than I probably should, or I'm suggested to use it for.
I guess Snapchat, if I'm honest, because it's just the way that I keep in contact with all of my friends. But if it's not Snapchat, I do often just find myself scrolling through other platforms like Instagram or TikTok.
So I would say Snapchat. I have Instagram and Facebook and quite a lot of other social medias as well, but majority of the time I use Snapchat just because that's how I talk to my friends.
Snapchat, Twitter, Snapchat, Twitter.
With 52% of the world using social media on a daily basis, there is bound to be some effects from these toxic platforms. They are all not as they seem.
I first got it when I was 10, but that was when I was still very heavily monitored by my parents because they wanted to make sure that I wasn't seeing anything inappropriate at the time.
I was at 11 when I first installed social media.
Social media is linked to low self-esteem and poor body image. Teens who spend more than 2 hours a day on social media report poor mental health, and this often can lead to thoughts of harming themselves or suicidal intentions. People often see graphic content on these platforms, and 3 in 10 are often cyberbullied on these apps that we dedicate our life to.
Social media definitely has negative effects on me. Not so much now because I filtered what I see on social media, but it definitely used to, yeah.
Well, I'd always go and put everything that I think about into social media, just because all of my communication with everybody that I know is through social media. So I just think it really goes and impacts how I think and feel on the day. So I just often think I can struggle with it.
I think I spend too much time on it, and it gives a false reality of what actually is. It's very negative. It puts me down. I don't know. I don't like social media. I really don't.
Have you seen someone close to you been affected by social media?
Oh, massively, yeah. No, I've went and had a few friends which have really struggled through it, and they've been at the point where they've just deleted it after really not having a good time on it. So I think it can massively affect people's moods.
Yeah, a lot of my friends have been affected by social media. However, they've got the help that they needed, and yeah, although social media is dangerous.
I know someone close to me has been affected by social media. Yeah, I do. It affects everyone in some way. It's so negative, all the posts about people. Loads of people have been bullied through social media posts. It starts off as a joke, but in reality it's offensive to people that are like that.
But would you say social media has any positive effects at all?
Oh yeah, no, I think it hugely can go and benefit. Being able to speak to all of your friends. It's like when I speak to my parents, they used to really struggle. They used to really struggle to speak to each other, apart from using phones where they'd have to really speak to each other, whereas anyone that I want to speak to, I can go and speak, I can message them within about 5 minutes.
Personally, I think it has more of a negative effect on me, but there are plus sides to it as well. So yeah, it's a mixture.
And do you think mental health is impacted by social media nowadays?
Oh yeah, massively. I think it really has quite a bad effect on people who use it too much. I think that if people are constantly on it and that's the only thing that they care about, they end up getting obsessive, and then it really can hurt people.
So after all that's been said in this documentary, is social media a good thing or a bad thing? Or is it as dangerous as people make it out to be?